The Palaces of Carrara is a competitive Eurogame for 2 to 4 players, in which the players will construct buildings on and around the beautiful coast of Tuscany. Most of the game will consist of collecting bricks and then returning those bricks to the general supply to build buildings. You have a really nice board here, really nice looking, with a wheel that will be used to organize the bricks that are available and that come out of a bag randomly. The board is also used to organize the offer of available buildings that the players can build, like Cattedrale, Palazzo, Villa, and here there is the cost in terms of bricks of each building. They are not the same. Higher costs mean higher rewards and returns for your investment, but again, it takes more to build them, of course. And then we have a scoring area here where we're going to place the scoring pawns of the players. During the game, the players can place them on certain areas of the board and or their personal board to score different things. The game will be over when a player has used all of their 6 scoring tokens and the supply of available buildings that go here when one needs to be replaced, and when the supply is over. At the point you have final scoring, and the player with the highest score wins the game. So players here will take turns acting, and during your turn you can take one action. By far the most common ones are going to be to collect bricks or to build a building. To collect bricks, now when you choose that action, first thing, you can choose whether you want to rotate the wheel by 1 tick or not. You don't have to. If you do though, and suppose I do that, and they always rotate clockwise, then you replenish the wheel, drawing cubes from the bag until there is a total of 11 on the board. So we always start with 6, 1 of each color. And so I decided to turn that, and so I draw 5 random ones, and the new cubes always go in that space there. Again, the action of rotating the wheel, and then the rotating wheel is optional, and if you don't take it, then you do not get to replenish the wheel, you just grab tokens. After grabbing tokens, you select one space only on the wheel, and you can get any and all breaks from there at the cost indicated there. So the cool thing is that you can see as time goes by, these bricks cost less. Yellow, which is very valuable, becomes 4, becomes 3 instead of 5 at the beginning. Some colors you don't even see here anymore, which means they become free. So actually, after the first tick, purple bricks become free. And here, blue bricks are free. So, for example, if I'm here, I could decide to get this one for free and this one for free. There you go. And then buy this one for 3 and this one for 2. It's kind of unfortunate that the bricks are orange, but the color everywhere else in the component is indicated as red. So I just paid the corresponding cost using coins that I will have it from my personal supply. And I have this nice... Everybody has these nice screens here that look like palaces where you can hide your money and the bricks that you have. So that's how you collect bricks. But then you want to build, right? That was the point to start with. And you're going to build next to your personal board, and you're going to build on top of that board here. Now, remember, those building tiles have different amounts of bricks. So suppose I want to build a villa, I can choose, when I take the action of building a building, I can choose any of these ones that I can afford to build. Then I need 3 bricks. But what kind of bricks? It depends on where I build them. Different cities will take different kinds of bricks. Lerici is very, very welcoming. They take any kind of bricks. The closer you go to Livorno, the choosier and pickier the cities become. So Pisa only takes yellow and white. Livorno, it's white or nothing. And so, for example, just with the bricks that I have here, I could definitely build that 3-brick villa in Lerici. That's always possible. Or in Massa even. I don't think I could build it somewhere else. Now, as you build, actually you can trade. See, the bricks are not the same. They have increasing value. This is the most valuable, white is the most valuable, purple is the least valuable. You can always exchange 2 bricks of a lower value for one of a higher value, but you cannot chain that. So you cannot do, oh, I will replace 2 red for a yellow, and then I already have a yellow, I put that one there, turn it into a white, and I can build in Livorno. I could change 2 red into a yellow, but again, not the same turn, the same action. I cannot do more exchanges than that. So by paying the corresponding bricks, I can place my thing there. The building tile is replaced, and that's it for now. Pretty cool, huh? So, and also pretty simple. So those are the 2 main actions. Up to 6 times per game, you will also get a chance of scoring. There are 6 scoring markers per player, so it cannot be more than that. When you score, you take your scoring marker, and you also take this other marker here. Why so? When you take the scoring marker, you receive a bonus. For example, if I take that scoring marker, I receive 5 coins. If I take that scoring marker, I receive 3 victory points. I take that big marker that I told you because right after I do this, the other players now have a chance, when it's their turn, to use their normal action to score also. If they do, they also get the bonus. They also get the extra coins or the extra points. If they don't, suppose that pink decides not to score, the marker stays there. It is still available, they can still use it to score later, but they don't get the bonus anymore. I suppose yellow decides to do it, and then they get to place it somewhere, and they also get to score. They also get the bonus. Again, this marker is returned there when it's my next turn again, so that is simply used as a reminder that this is the round where everybody has a chance of scoring for a bonus, or you save your scoring marker for later. Scoring! You can score using a scoring space on the board, in which case, booyah. To do so, you need to have a certain number of buildings. To score Pisa, I need to have at least 2 buildings there. Viareggio, at least 3. And when I do that, also, I occupy that space for the rest of the game. No one else is able to score Pisa again. So there are interesting elements there. And when you score a city, you get a benefit based on what's there. So Pisa will give me coins and will give me 3 times the numbers on the buildings that I have there. So right now Pisa will generate 15 coins for me because it's 3 plus 2, 5 times 3, 15. Instead of scoring a city and scoring everything that I have there, I can score other things on my board. I could, for example, choose to score all of my cattedrali, all cathedrals, like some people say. In which case, I place my marker there. There you go. And then I score the rewards, again, based on the numbers on my cathedrals and what they're associated with. So if I score cathedrals, I'm going to score 9 coins because I have a cathedral value 3 in a times 3 coin space. And this cathedral will give me 2 victory points because I have a value 1 in a times 2 space. So as you can see, again, the cities are not the same, the bricks are not the same, so I will give you a lot more victory points and money than some other ones. Another option that I have when I'm building buildings, I didn't mention earlier because it has to do with the scoring things, is to actually upgrade a building. I guess you could also just build it, but basically, if I I can bring a building to level 8 by paying the difference between its present and present cost and 8. So I can upgrade this cathedrale to a level 8 cathedral if I pay 5. And for each building there is a corresponding tile there, value 8, and I place it right there, improving my cathedral there. Not only that, but then I also, for doing that, well, first a lot cooler now because it's going to give me more stuff when it scores. But then I also get to take one of these tiles, and again there is one per city, which simply increases the yield of that city. So for example, if I take that one, now Pisa gives me ×4 instead of times 3. So that's a cool thing about scoring and about upgrading. Again, you could just build something value 8 at the beginning, but that's rare. It's more likely that you're gonna upgrade things. As for the spaces here, as we said, you have a scoring space for each city. You also have a scoring space that lets you score victory points for the countryside area, so the ones with a green background, and then you have a scoring place that gives you money for the urban areas. Again, the ones, which is most of the buildings, the ones with the brown background. So those are the 3 main actions. You can also pass and take 2 coins, but that is rarely done. So most of the game, you're gonna take bricks, very often rotating the wheel and replenishing it because that lowers the cost before you take bricks, and then you're gonna build buildings again until the stack of available tiles is emptied, until all scoring tokens of one player have been used, and at the point you have a final scoring in which remaining coins are worth a victory point for each 5 of them, and then highest score wins the game. This is the basic game. The advanced game introduces more components, introduces really good-looking components, introduces wooden architectural elements and statues. So we still have our wheel, but as you can see, there are also symbols there. And you can also choose in the advanced game to rotate the inner wheel, the one with the statues. But yeah, suppose that's the situation. And you have, for all of those, a really nice looking wooden components. Those are the architectural elements and those are the statues. Now, indeed, the main mechanical difference here is that when you collect bricks as your action, if you clean a space entirely, you also get to collect an architectural element or a statue of the corresponding kind. So, for example, I could get a yellow statue, I could get a porta. Where is the porta? I can get a porta. There it is, etc., etc., etc. The statues can be placed in my cities just like that, and the architectural elements need to be placed in buildings that have the corresponding element. What do they do during the game? Nothing. It is just that they add several layers of scoring at the end of the game, and so you will score points based on, again, the presence of statues and buildings and wooden elements on your buildings at the end of the game. Well, to be fair to the advanced version, there are a couple of more things that it does. It gives you an extra action. If you want to spend 10 coins to buy a statue, you can do so, but usually I like my coins for my buildings. And also you can score statues during the game, but really you are mainly setting up scoring for the end of the game, in which you will score for each set of decorations. So the more portas you have, the more of each of those things you have, you're going to score more points. And then also for who has the most statues in each city, and at that point the color doesn't matter. So what the advanced version really does mainly is to give more weight to final scoring and to obfuscate the situation on the board. Otherwise, as you play the game, you may have somebody who is ahead, and the basic version doesn't have many ways of, or any way really, of catching up to a possible runaway leader. So it follows the trends in modern gaming of obfuscating the situation until final scoring. Also gives more value to getting the last brick from a section of the wheel, because there's an opportunity cost, and sometimes in the basic version you don't want that because it's very cheap, but maybe even free, but it takes you a whole turn. to do so. So there are those elements that change the overall experience, and if you like those things, then you should go for the advanced version. I personally prefer the basic version by a long stretch. I find that the advantages of the advanced version are not worth all the extra steps of figuring out what is the alignment of the statues and the decoration, and all of those extra steps to me make the game just feel a little more fiddly and less tight. And thinking, but how about, again, Runaway Leader? The game with players who know what they're doing is pretty fast. It's with 2 players, you can play it in half an hour. That's simple. And honest, again, if I see that you're ahead and you're gonna win and the game is gonna be 10 more minutes, I don't mind. It's not a big problem. It's not a big deal. I see, well, you pulled off that amazing combo, you scored a ton of points. There's no way for me to catch up. We may even call it early. Why not? So with a game that is overall short, I don't have that much of a problem with somebody getting ahead with one big combo. And especially because after a while, people will start trying to prevent each other from pulling off those big combos. Because it's possible. I can have a lot of buildings of the same kind in a very valuable city that scores a lot of points, say Lucca, and then I can score a lot of points by scoring the city and by scoring the kind of building. And the idea is, well, I see you got 2 of those in Lucca. Can I do something so you don't get a third one? So, if you play the game as your individual puzzle, which you can, is legit, then you're a little more exposed to the danger of somebody pulling off some major combos. But the game is a lot more interesting when you consider that the display of the cities of each player is public information. Oh, we really shouldn't let Frank get another porta there. So there's that element that to me makes the game more interesting, and again, I'm pursuing my objectives and seeing if I can pull off some combos while also taking from the board the buildings that I don't want some other players to have. It is a form of interaction. You're even, going against somebody sort of actively, but you're not attacking them. You're removing opportunities rather than taking away what they have, and that is, I think, a good way of aggression. But overall, the game is so good. Again, I'm talking about the basic game, which I love so much. I like it so much. It's just so great. It has what I like the most in Euro games, which is tight, interesting economic decisions with simple, intuitive rules, and yet so many interesting decisions here. And also, there is a very interesting element in the fact that everybody around the table could just be building up to these amazing combos if they get the chance to score them. It's also entirely possible that somebody who has built not the greatest combos overall, some decent combos, but then start scoring all of a sudden in one turn after the other, score. Boom! The people with the ginormous combos don't get to score them, and somebody who just had a good enough combo and just went for it, thought okay, I think I can do it. I think I can just score for 5 rounds in a row. I think I have enough to win right now. Probably I'll be destroyed 3 turns from now. So I like how if your group is entirely overachiever, just go for it, then it works also. But I like the fact that there's an element of tension that you have to balance between creating really huge combos and actually the timing of actually being able to score them, which creates an interesting element. And again, I've seen the player with decent combos winning over the player that was building a master strategy that just the player didn't have time to be able to collect from. It's simple, it's intuitive, there's always something to do, you're always just satisfying. Get the bricks and collect and build your tableau, create those combos. There's also nice, interesting back and forth. I got a lot of money, so I'm going to build some good buildings. And I don't have any money, then I'm going to score something that gives me money. When to use those bonuses, that's interesting. I'm thinking, well, right now my opponents have a lot of money, so I'm going to take one of those scoring things from the bonus area with the money. because it's less likely that they will benefit from it. So there's also that element of when is the right time to collect. Oh, I'm going to take the 3 victory points, but I know my opponents want to build up to something better, and 3 victory points are not so good for them right now. So many nice, interesting touches work together in a game that is very simple, very economical, and very enjoyable. I like Palacioso Carrara very much in the basic version. The advanced, not so much, but if you do, well, I hope you do. I always like it when people enjoy their games. So in any case, you're going to get 2 versions, and then it's up to you to decide what your favorite one is.